podcast by candlelight.
Yeah.
Fucking power.
It's all good.
Yeah.
This is the spooky cast. Nah, it's cool.
American Gods.
Almost a ritual going on here. What's the candle? American Gods.
By the All-Father. No.
Yeah. Brief thing, and then we'll unpack it.
Yeah. So the premise is like gods exist because people believe in them, right?
Yeah, and it's almost as if they
and
carry
that's
them.
how they get their power.
Yeah,
they carry them.
Like when they move from one country to another, they carry the belief.
So there's there's a god in every country if there have been or are people that believe in them.
Yeah.
And I'll quickly cut to the TV show, which actually explains how Odin is in America.
Yep.
Have you seen the TV show?
Yeah, I've seen some of it, yeah.
And it starts with, like, Vikings coming in.
Yep.
Which was pretty cool, and then they're stuck there, and they're, like, you know, praying and shit, and like, oh, I'm gonna go back, and they cut out all their
eyes.
Or one of their eyes each,
yeah.
And then they fight to the death, and then they finally get the wind to fucking go back. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, very. It was a good way of showing some of the stuff that maybe the book didn't explain.
Yeah. And so there's basically every god you can think of, and the twist, which I thought was quite good, because this book was written in like 2000 or something, right?
Yeah, it was written a long time ago.
And so now there's like the god of media or television and internet and all that kind of shit, and they're the new gods kind of clashing with the old ones, and the old ones are losing their power, obviously.
Yeah. And there's going to be everyone feels as if there's a storm. There's going to be a war between the old and the new gods.
And so we have Shadow, who's released from prison, finds out his wife's dead, and then he goes on a road trip with Wednesday, who's Odin.
Yep.
And they rob a bank, go to the house on the rock.
Yep.
And the carousel thing.
Yep. He goes to Cairo, and he goes.
Yeah.
He basically travels around and recruits a whole lot of old gods from different pantheons and tries to get them all sorted to go to war.
Yeah, and then he's killed, right? He's killed like halfway through.
Yeah, Odin dies.
Yeah,
and then we find out that the main character Shadow's been tricked, and he has to basically hang himself on a tree in respect for that god.
Hold his vigil.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, I guess a side story is Shadow's wife comes back to life because he dropped the coin
from the sun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a king of the sun, and he's got a whole hoard of gold.
Yeah. And that brings her back to life, and she's like following Shadow.
And
although she has a job as like a gas attendant or something.
Well, I think she doesn't really know what she's like her part in the story is. I feel like she is reanimated back to life. She can't be with Shadow. She feels like she's drawn to something else, but she doesn't know exactly what that is.
Right.
And that sort of all comes ahead towards the end.
And the end is like the gods are about to go to war, and Loki was Shadow's prison mate.
Yep.
And Loki's the mastermind actually in power over the new gods, right? He's the Mr. World, or...
I thought that Odin was Mr. World. And like Odin and Loki,
the two-man crew.
The two-man crew, and the whole thing was a con.
Yeah.
Like they conned Shadow, they conned the gods
to kill each other in their name or something.
Yeah, and then there would be I guess super gods, because not only did the gods believe in a higher god, but like all the humans believed in those gods. So any energy funneled into them would go straight to the higher god.
Yeah, and Shadow stops it basically.
Did you do the 10th year edition?
I don't know. What's the difference?
There's like little bits at the end, and I think that there's a few extra added stories. There's a story with the Ifrit. He's a taxi driver.
The Jinn?
The Jinn, yeah, that's Jinn, sorry. Jinn and Ifrit, I think they're the same thing.
There was the story with that. And the guy that has newly come to America.
Yeah.
And then he fucks him in the mouth, and then he's the...
yeah. Well, that was...
like, what the fuck? Oh, I listened to it. I was like, what the fuck am I reading? Just describing the Jinn's cum going down his throat. I was like, fuck, man. Holy shit.
I like that he didn't shy away from anything. I thought that was cool. So you did read the 10th anniversary. Right at the end, there's an interesting little bit where Neil Gaiman puts in a story where he says, "Oh, this is what would have happened if I didn't put Jesus into it."
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool.
It was like in a bar, right? Shadow and...
Yeah, Shadow goes to a bar and it's like gold. Everything's all elaborate. Okay. So that's the basic main premise.
Yeah.
So, what's your rating and why? And then I'll do mine and then we'll jump into it and unpack it.
Okay.
It's a 2. I hated it.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. Fucking worse than Jack Crowley.
No, I gave Jack Crowley a 1. I think 1 or 2.
Oh, 2.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought the concept was cool. I'll just wait for the fucking alarm. I thought the concept was cool. Like, I really enjoyed that. I loved the short stories. Most of them were good, at least. A lot of them were, like, fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially the one with the girl from Ireland.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I thought they did a good job with the TV show as well.
Yeah. But I just thought Shadow was like a dull vessel of a character. I didn't buy his motivations. Didn't like believably react to his wife's death and his best friend and them cheating. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then he's just like going along with it. It was kind of like my one criticism of Logan and the Blade itself was he was just like, oh, I'm just going to go along with this guy that came along. He's like a magic guy. You know? And like, I didn't believe his motivations for going.
Yeah, fair enough. It's fair enough.
What else? Oh, the ending I thought was awful. Where they're like all the gods about to battle together, and then Shadow's like, hey, no, they're tricking you guys, you shouldn't do it. And they're like, oh, okay, no, we won't now.
Yeah.
Another good thing was the whole few chapters in there, like Wintertown, and the subplot of the children going missing.
You like that?
Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah, I just wasn't on board with Shadow as a character at all. There just wasn't... I didn't care about him at all, and I was bored a lot of the time.
Oh, okay.
I was disappointed.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna give it a 9, man. I really fucking enjoyed it. I've listened to it maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Convince me.
No, I don't feel I need to. I think there's I think some of our tastes are different.
Yeah.
But I loved all the side stories.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that there was more showing than explaining, and some of those explanation things. There was a bit of humor, and there was a bit of like enjoyable stuff where they said, "Oh, have you?" Someone's told me that they saw Jesus in Iraq, and he was a homeless man trying to like put his thumb out to the nearest jeep that would drive past. And it's because the Americans that went over there or whatever, they brought Jesus to that country, and I thought that was interesting. I thought it was really cool to find out about these different gods, and lots of them that I didn't even know about, like Chinnabog.
Okay.
I thought he was interesting, and it turns out that he was actually 2 gods, because his story is spring and winter. In winter, the gods are harsh, and in spring, they're thing. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting with the daughters that like one at night, one in the morning, one in the evening, and like they were all of different ages, and they all stayed that age forever, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I just thought that the little stories were great. I thought the Irish girl was great. I sort of understand what you mean about Shadow being a bit stupid and almost like a little bit of a dull character, but I feel like as we found out, he was a god's offspring.
Yeah.
I feel like he almost had a piece of his own personality stripped away, and you saw that shadowed in some of the other characters that meet him. They're like, "Oh, you don't seem 100%. You don't seem 100% right." And even some of the other gods comment on it, and they're like, "You're not right. You're not 100%. You're like, there's something missing in you. I can see there's something missing in you." And I feel like that is because you have these gods that only exist because we dream them up. What happens if you're only half a person?
Right.
And I feel like he was just going along with the journey because there was nothing else for him in life. Like, and really, he had, I feel like there should have been way more mourning for his wife's death. But also, there's almost like a foreshadowing, like he knew that it was going to happen. But yeah, I do get what you're saying, that he is a little bit boring, but I feel like, yeah, he was just a vessel. He was a vessel for us to travel along the journey.
Right.
And like, I don't necessarily see him as the main character of this book. I would probably see myself more as the main character.
Okay.
And that's why I enjoyed it. Because it's a book that somehow made me feel like I was going on that journey.
Right. Okay.
And I also really enjoyed the Mad Sweeney stuff. I thought that was cool. I also enjoyed the whole Cairo experience with him working in a mortuary and him having sex with the cat god.
Oh, yes,
and those gods actually explore a little bit of what it means to be a god and what it means to be interacting with humans as well. Because Horus, the god who left them, went to Vegas or tried to escape his fate as a god, and they never heard from him again. No one knows what happened to him.
Right.
Obviously it was a bad thing though. But I just thought it was really interesting. Like there's so many facets to it, and like every time I listen to it, there's something else that I pick up on. I really like.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, our tastes might just be a little bit different. Yeah. But I enjoyed the pantheon of different things, and I also like to see that like some cultures have similar things, and I really like the whole Anansi, the spider balls thing.
Because there's a I don't think it's like a sequel, but there's a book in this universe called Anansi Boys.
Yeah, and it's about Anansi and his sons. And it's, I thought that the precursor gods were interesting. The precursor gods of America. Yep. And it was like this buffalo god that was like really, really primal and sort of. I thought that was interesting. I thought that I just liked it. I really liked it. There was lots of different facets to it though.
No, a lot of people like it. Like almost got me questioning, like, is there something I'm missing, or is it just not for me? And I think it's just not for me.
Yeah, I think it might just not be for you. But I liked that it didn't shy away from anything. I liked that there was a prostitute goddess, and like she'd fallen to being a prostitute, but the only way she could get sacrifices or ritual sacrifices was to basically like whore herself out. Yeah. And because she had lost power, people thought of her as an old whore, so that's how she appeared. And then when she was having sex with them, that's when all the power became things. Yeah. Like she was so irresistible that the men couldn't pull their penises out. You know what I mean? It was. Yeah, I thought that it was good that he didn't shy away from anything. Even the parts where like the wife's like rotting, because like she's this dead like necro zombie. Yeah. What the fuck happened when? Because she gets like she spews up like all her insides and stuff.
Yeah, and all the fluid they use to
embalm her and stuff at some point. And then all of a sudden she's like fine, and she's like, it's like she's coming back to life towards the end there.
Don't know.
Like she goes into a barn and then she's like suddenly cured of death.
Oh yeah, because there's like 3 old women or something.
Yeah, and I think that
they're gods, I'm assuming, or something.
I thought they were the
power.
the fates of humans. You know, the 3 witches in the Greek pantheon that like cut the thread when you die.
No, I don't know much about it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I just really enjoyed all the different pantheons and everything else. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Very visual too. It had like a very nice like. Yeah.
I guess for pure, like, there was a lack of entertainment for me. Like, a lot of stuff was interesting, but
you wanted someone to throw a knife into someone else's face, and
well, I mean, some dismemberment would have been cool. No, no. I mean, I don't just need that in a book, but I don't know. I guess the main thing was Shadow not being a character, not being a proper character.
Yeah. I can definitely see how that would really affect it.
Yeah.
For you. Because even some of his responses are just dumb, eh?
Yeah.
But I seriously, I really did enjoy it, and I've listened to it 3 times or something. So.
I didn't hate it. I was like more indifferent.
Indifferent. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's all you can say about it, really. Anything you want to?
I'll go 4.5. I'll give it
4.5. Thanks. I've convinced you to put the extra 0.5 on.
Well, my actual review is a 5.
I actually really like that part where they go to the behind the scenes, is what they call it, where they go into the
carousel thing.
No, when they need to get from one place to another really, really quick. So Wednesday actually rips the fabric of the universe and like brings Shadow into that piece of ether that gods exist.
That was very visual. That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that in the carousel.
I just thought that was really, really visual, and I thought there's just so many interesting visual parts of it. Having Jesus walk down the road as a homeless person putting his thumb out, that's just such a visual like element to it. Everything was, and I think that's also why it made some of those like squeamish moments where like, oh fuck, this guy's like hanging on a tree and he's like dying, or this is necro dead lady she's spewing up embalming fluid, or even the whole my pussy's eating you like vagina scene. I think that those things were all explained so well that they were actually kind of I don't know, a little bit disturbing.
I like the TV show more than the book. I still don't love the TV show, but they kind of fix a few things for me. Like Shadow's actually pissed off when certain things happen where he wasn't in the book. And
well, I think that's for a good reason as well. I think that the when you're watching a TV show, you're not participating in it, and when you're reading a book, you're an active participant. So
yeah, you're doing half the work.
Yeah. Cool. I think we've covered a lot for that.
Yeah.